I'm using my left hand more. Yeah, I'm right hand dominant. So yeah, I've been noticing a lot of changes.
That's awesome. And what happens is in the changes is because the brain is realizing that you're getting better because it's supposed to look for a pattern. And when it recognizes the pattern as something, it's not going to kill itself. And then how fast can it recognize it? It's trying to say, all right, let's get this hand going better. Let's get the left hand right and better so that we don't have to use so much energy. That's all the brain is constantly doing. It's looking for easy. It's looking for easy. It's looking for easy. So, good morning, Misfits. How are you? It is January 30th, 2020, and this is our morning Misfit call. I appreciate you all jumping on here. Right now, we got 43 amazing souls who said, I could stay sleeping or I could get up and get on this call. Let's see, which can I do? Listen, a couple of things. If you're new to the call, if this is your first time on the call, drop an N in the chat. Just drop an N in the chat. And we'd love to send some love to you. Welcome to you. Hey, is it Beha? Great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, uh, Adrieleni, I'm Andrew I'm sure I'm saying. Isabella, great to have you here. Look at all these first timers. Y'all throw some love up for these folks. Babette, welcome to the call. Yeah,
Welcome, guys.
Yes, welcome, new misfits.
and here's why we want to welcome you. Listen, this ain't a normal call. You're odd. You're weird. You're not normal. You're already in Carrie. And I know I'm such a white guy. These beautiful names, and I'm just absolutely the wrong way. Hold on, let me get this. We got a little background. Now we got it. Welcome everybody. Somebody invited you to this call because they thought enough about you for you to work on yourself. This is a dialogue. This is a dialogue, not a monologue. As a matter of fact, this morning, listen, the background behind me says awakening. I need some help, and it wasn't meant for you. It was meant for me. After the long trip and a couple of long days of doing stuff, one of the things that happens is we all need a little bit of catch up, right? Well, this morning at 4 o'clock, the alarm goes off, and I took a big stretch in bed, and the next thing I knew, it was 5:45. So I got nothing. I only got what I came here with. I didn't have any downloads. I haven't had anything, so I need some help. And we'll get to that in just a second. Hey, listen, everybody, send out your 3 messages of love, of gratitude, of honor, respect. People, tell somebody you're thinking of them that they're amazing. Tell somebody you think is cute that they're cute. Tell somebody you really, really, really are just grateful they are in your life. Send out 3 messages. And the reason we do that for all the new folks is because we want to make space for joy. We want to make space for love. See, the brain does 2 things. The brain looks for, will it kill me? That's the first thing it does. It's constantly in a nexting mode. It's constantly in a, hey, what's that sound? What's this sound? And it's determining whether or not they're a threat or not. That's where it spends most of its time. Right? It's called the autonomic nervous system, but you don't even know it's on this high alert. And the first thing it looks for is, will it kill me? And if it doesn't kill me, then the next thing it's doing is, how fast can I put it into a pattern? How fast can I put it into something that it already exists? And when you send out messages every morning, when you send out messages that are positive in the world, it changes the way you operate. It puts your body into, this is cool. Brianna, great with your messages. Love it. And if you do get them done, when you get them done, type a D in the chat. They're done. And you know what happens? People are starting to send out these messages, and 5 days later and 10 days later, all of a sudden things just start to happen in their life. Look at all the duns that are going up there. That's the great Jacqueline, great Camille. So here it is, Thursday, the 30th of January. One of 12 months is just about over. Have you awakened? Have you taken the next step in your journey? Have you shed off some of the old stories? Yeah, I bet it's 4:30. We've got some folks out. Any of my West Coasters out there? Any West Coasters out there? Type a W in the chat. We got Babette out there. It's 4:30 a.m. out there. Um, the key is there's Crystal. Love you, Crystal. Yep, Arizona in the house. There's a couple of Vegas folks too.
Good morning. Good morning,
Good
team.
morning. You got
How are you, sir?
Going on, brother?
Good. Yes, I'm driving right now in this beautiful morning. It's a new day, so that's what I got going on.
Awesome, brother. Love you, man. So, listen, if you've got a question, if something's bugging you right now, you need an answer on something. We covered some pretty big topics this week, right? Was that just last weekend we were in Biloxi, Mississippi? Was that just this past weekend? Wow. Okay. So remember we did that call on Saturday. Remember we did that call on Sunday. Those were pretty rock your house calls. And some of you may still be digesting some of that. Some of you still may be working a little bit on that. So if you've got some questions, let's go ahead and just dive right into questions, jump right into questions. If you got a question, raise your hand. Go ahead and figure out somewhere on your screen. You can click a button and raise your hand, and it pops up on my screen over here. Yeah, I'm not that sophisticated to tell you how to do it. I just know it happened. How many people do you think are going to wake up in this moment and need some help? How many people do you think you're going to have a chance to have a conversation with, to answer some questions for them, and they're going to need some help? Hey, let's go up to Maine. Let's go to the other coast of the West Coast. Let's go to the East Coast, all the way up to Maine, and Mr. Raymond Barbuto. Go ahead on line one, Ray.
And a fine top of the morning to you, Sean, and to everybody else that's on this call. Yesterday, you were talking about words and what words can do and everything else. I hope for each and every one of you that is on this call that you realize just how powerful and wonderful it is that you have somebody like Sean that's such a facilitator. Because each one of you, I hope you're not overlooking what is a tremendous quality in each and every one of you is your courage and your willingness to do what is unpopular. Because what each and every one of you are doing right now, to the people that are not on this call, is unpopular. So what you're doing is you're
Oh, come on, internet. Hold on, Ray. We got you muted. There you go.
Am I back again?
You're back, brother.
Okay. And this is because I look at the different people that are on here now. I look at the pictures of some of you and stuff like that. And sometimes there's 4 and 5 pages. And I'll click and I'll look to see who and what and everything else. And we're from every single facet of society. And I think that this is wonderful. And for all of you, if you really and truly want to become a leader, you've got to make yourself uncomfortable. You've got to make yourself unpopular. And there's an array of different reasons why you do that, because if you go along and everything is, if you're in a comfort zone, then you are stagnant. You're not growing if you're comfortable with exactly what it is that you have. You always want to be uncomfortable because you want to continue to grow. If you succeed, like some of you that are exercising right now, you're gonna get to a certain point and you're gonna say, okay, I've done enough. Well, you've gotten to the end, but you haven't pushed yourself. I want you to push yourself further, because that's what leaders do. Leaders always push themselves further. If you achieve your goal, good, you achieved your goal, but that's the end. what are you going to do next? Every time you push yourself further, every time you achieve something new, you are making yourself better. And by making yourself better, you become not only more valuable to you, which is the most important, but you become valuable to others. You become the leaders that each and every one of you want to become. I don't know about you guys, but when I get on these calls now with Sean and everything else, and no matter who you get on calls with, write down what it is that you're listening to and what you're gaining. Because all of the things that you write down, if you go back and you read them and things like that, this is where your true checks are. These are all uncashed checks of information. Just don't listen to these things each day and think that you're going to remember it. Think of when you go to organizations or when you get together in all of your big groups, okay? You bring in people from all over, and that's wonderful. And it's like being around a fire at night. You all gather together, you say kumbaya and everything else, and you're sharing ideas and things like that. But what happens when you leave that fire? The further away from that fire, the colder you get. So you got to remember that you've got to constantly keep doing what it is that you're doing over and over and over again. You've heard Sean say this many, many, many times. You got to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. And you got to drip on people. Do not think that in a conversation that you have with somebody that they're going to join your group or be part of whatever it is that you want them to be in. Don't try to enroll somebody. Try to educate somebody, because the more that you educate them, and like Sean tells you over and over and over again, what do you think? This may not be for you or whatever. If you make them comfortable, if you find out what it is that they're looking for, then you can become duplicatable. You can bring them along. You can fulfill their dreams. The more that you believe and understand and how to relate and teach to them, then they realize that they can do it for others. And if you become the apex, the center, and you are spread out this way, then what's going to happen to you ultimately? You'll be the one that'll achieve the goals that you desire. But don't go into, when you're trying to talk to somebody with your words and want them to do everything for you, you're not going to be duplicatable. Do for them. Be the leader. You be the leader. You're already leaders because you're on these calls. You're already doing the unpopular. And that unpopular is what is going to make you great, not only within you, but within others. So Sean, I'll stop there because I could go on and on and on and on. But I love you, my friend, and people understand. I am, like Sean says, I'm probably the oldest one that's on this call right now. But I get enthused by each and every one of you. I enjoy listening to each and every one of you. Latoya, you crack me up, and Bree and Monique and Trey and Giselle and all of you. You make me want more. At my age, you make me want more. I want that. I crack up with Janito, I think his name is, and exercising and everything else. And like I said, I went to do cardio exercise the other day, and when they told me they moved the cardio machines up to the second floor, I left. But you know, it's my you know, that is it. But I laugh at some of the things that you all say, but all of you make me realize how many good people are out there, and how many people I look forward to watching and hearing stories of how each and every one of you are becoming more and more leaders, because this world needs people like each and every one of you that likes to do the unpopular things. I am very proud of each and every one of you.
Love you, Ray.
Ray, love
Love you
you.
too, guys.
Appreciate
The
you.
world needs more Rays. We love Ray.
We love
Yes, we love you.
Hey, talk me into it.
So I appreciate you. And again,
Thank you, Ray.
that's just that's wisdom, that's heart, that's our community. Ray and
You're
I
welcome.
I was blessed to be introduced to Ray through some very dear friends, Paulette and Ronnie Roy down in Florida, and we've known each other. I think it's now coming up on 3 years, maybe a little over 3 years, and he's just got this wealth. And you heard him go through the challenges that he went through, and he's still here, he's still fighting. Hey, listen carefully. You know, if you're sitting there going, man, gosh, I hope I don't have, I really haven't had any troubles. Let me let you in on a little secret. It's coming for you. Trouble's coming for you. It is absolutely coming for you. So it would be valuable for you to be prepared, to pray up, to be able to stand tall in your shoes, to be able to have more of what you want, less of what you don't. So yeah, it's, and listen, it may be coming for you right now, and you may not even know it came and went. Maybe the storm that was coming for you because you have prayed up, you have taken your time, you have worked on you. It may have come and gone and you didn't even know it, and other people are getting wrecked by the storm. That's Ray. The storms come and go. You don't know how many storms he's been through. I can say this: I'd rather just watch his storms on TV. I don't want to have to go through them. So, Dana asked a question. Sean, please speak to two approaches to refitting. Say as little to as many people as you can. That's what we have social media, right? When I was growing up in this profession 22 years ago, when I started in it, we didn't have, maybe we had fax machines then. We didn't have cell phones. Maybe we did, based on where, yeah, we did when we just started. But they weren't smartphones. They were not smartphones. So how do you say as much to as many as you can? We used to have to do hotel meetings, right? We would do hotel meetings, and we would do conference calls. Yeah, could you imagine conference calls? Please enter your PIN number to enter your conference call. We're experiencing an exceptional amount of activity right now. Please call back in later. Have you entered the correct PIN number? If anybody remembers all that. So how do you say more to less? You got to decide what your big rock is. Because I'll share with you my perception, and these are my opinions, and everybody knows what everybody's got an opinion, just like that other thing everybody else has got. The question is this: what is your big rock? What are you going to say? Kind of my tagline is to be a better dad and better husband. That gets moms, that gets dads. I'm not looking. I may not be a draw for somebody who's in their 20s. I am now, because I got a whole bunch of amazing superstars who are like, you got to get around this guy. You got to get around the goat. I still laugh. Oh no, that's a sheep. The point is that what's your big rock? What is your big rock? What are you going to say? Because here's the thing: sometimes we're saying too many things too fast all the time, and nobody gets to hear what we're saying. And I can be telling you the five key points of a presentation that you need to be able to understand, and make sure you get all that written down. Got it? That's sometimes what our posts are like. They're here, they're there, they're back, they're this, they're that. We're supposed to be recruiting. I think it smells great. So say more, say less to more. Find your tribe. Be consistent. Be consistent when you send your messages out. If you're going to use a social media platform, be consistent. If you're going to use email, how many of you are building an email list? Oh, email is old school. Email is the only school. How many of you are building an email list? Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, you're coming across thousands of people. You are having access to thousands of people. Listen, go get MailChimp for $8. I don't know, something cheap. If you're not building an email list and Instagram shuts down, I don't give a rat's patootie if you got 30,000 followers. You got nothing. I'm not telling you to go build an email campaign or do this, do that, but every now and then send people out there. Send people a message. Learn constant contact. Figure it out. But you're building this business. You're 20 now. Don't be like me at 54 and go, my last, the first 15 years of my business, I got no names. They're friends. I got some friends now, but I got no emails. I got no names. Find a way, find your little giveaway. Find a giveaway that you can do. Copy and paste. R&D, rip off and duplicate. Put a little and this is why you need to know your story. This is why it's good if you know your story. You could right now, you could put together a 2-page PDF file and you could say, you want to learn my story? Send an email to. And you'll send them out their story. Seven ideas that my upline created to build a 7-figure income. You want to know the 7 ideas my mentor used to build his business? Send me an email. I'm sitting here kind of shocked that that's something you're just hearing about. With all of the trainings and all of the people and all, listen. I'm going to smack some people around here, and none of you are on this call. But these people you call mentors, if you haven't heard build your email list, really, don't you think a mentor would tell you that? Somebody who wants you to do things you didn't know you could do? I'm not being mean to them. But listen, if you're not building an email list, why do you think I send you all to personalundevelopment.com? Now I'm getting 7 and 8 and 10 emails of the same person. So we go through and we sort those out. We pull those out. What I'm saying is that this is about building you. I'm here to build you. There's a couple of people on here that if they went out and went to the moon, I'd benefit. Financially, I'd benefit. The rest of you, if you built your business and went to the moon, so would I. So would I. I'd go to the moon with you. Why? Because we're making the world a better place. We're making the world a better place. I'm teaching you how to build people, not businesses. Yeah, if it's the second time you've heard it in less than 12 hours, I'd encourage you to go do it. So we got a couple of questions here. I'm going to go to those right now. I appreciate y'all just letting me rant there for a minute. But yeah, figure out simple, easy, logical. Simple, easy, logical. Larry Thompson taught me that. Simple, easy, logical. Needs to be a simple conversation, audience and language. Who are you talking to? What language do they need to hear? Make it easy, simple, and magical. Simple, fun, and magical. What's the next logical step? What's the next logical step? Some of you have had thousands of people who said no. Who said no? It's not the right time. Said no. Guess what? You send them an email every now and then. And maybe, because I'm a 54-year-old white guy who is like not super techie savvy, maybe there's even a simpler text. I know there's texting. Listen, don't laugh at me and go, oh my God, he doesn't know what texting is. I know what texting is. Maybe there's some inexpensive platforms, but I know email is wildly inexpensive. Wildly is inexpensive. So that being said, let's go to Michael. Hey, Michael, listen, you want to hear some energy? You want to hear some joy? Let's talk to our next caller. Michael's on line 1.
Yo, what's going on, Sean? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How's everyone doing today? Bro,
What's up,
all right,
brother?
so I got a lot of energy, I'm not gonna lie. So literally, Sean, it's been what, a 1 month since I hopped on these calls. I think I started hopping on January 1st, and I'm not gonna lie, my life did a complete 180 in the right direction. Like,
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
bro, I don't know. I don't even understand like the laws of the universe, but I swear I've been doing everything you just said, like about appreciation and everything. And it's like everything good just keeps coming into my life right now. Like I can't even explain it. And it's just absolutely insane. Like, so I just gotta say, dude, I'm blessed.
I love you, brother. Listen, so let me let you in on a little secret. Do not try to explain it. There is no explanation. You have no memory of it. You have no concept of it. I'm not saying you're not able to understand it because you're experiencing it right now. What I'm encouraging you to do is don't box it in. Do not take this joy that's happened in the last month from being on these calls. Thank you for that vote of confidence. Thank you for that testimonial. But do not stop at any moment and go, so let's see, how did I get here? There's absolutely no way your memory can ever tell you how you got here. You stepped into the flow and you've been in the flow. And because of your high energy, you stay in the flow, journal it, let it unravel itself to you. But the second that your energy will try to find that out, you'll be back to square one. I don't think you do that. I know you don't do that, but other people are hearing you say that because of your success. They're going to go, well, maybe do I need to figure it out? He's trying to figure it out. Don't figure it out. Fun it out. Fun it out. There's a new word. Fun it out. Just keep going. Oh man, I could do that. Could I do more? Could I do more? Could I do that? I could do more. I could fun this out. Let me fun this thing out.
Sounds good, Sean. Appreciate it, brother.
Love you, man. Honestly, brother, I absolutely am I'm in love with you. I love the way that your energy is. I love your smile. I love what your posts, and we've talked about this. You're usually the loud one in the group, even if you're not saying nothing. Don't let anybody throw a blanket on that. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, this is so cool. I love this. Listen, that was Michael. So let's go to, we've got Fuego Nunez. Good morning, my love.
What's up, Sean? How are you?
Outstanding.
I'm gonna turn my camera on. I'm driving, so the angle's a little bit weird, but it's fine. I want you to see my face. Well, first, just want to say good morning to everybody. And I just kind of wanted to share something because I honestly forgot. You know, I spoke of my story of addiction here before, and my sobriety date was January 22nd of 2012. So I made 8 years clean on January 22nd. So that's
hold on. Let's not let that go by. Throw
awesome.
some hearts up, folks. Throw some hearts up. 8 years plus. 8 years plus. That's God bless you. God bless you. Your spirit. Thank you for being an example. And I know you don't need the love. I know you did, but there's a part of you that says, yeah, somebody's pat me on the back. This ain't no shit.
I knew you'd want to hear it. So yes, I just wanted to tell you. And I had like an awareness the other day, and I just wanted to share it with you and to kind of see if I'm on the right path. So I know that in my past, I've dealt with issues of abandonment, and then it created, it fueled like this huge ego problem that I have. Like I'm always scared that somebody's gonna hurt me or leave, or you know what I mean. So I've got this huge ego problem that I've been trying to work on. It's like my number one thing, right? But sometimes, and I try to guard my thoughts, and I try to purposely think good thoughts and rid myself of the bad ones. But sometimes I'll get reminded of a memory, and or I'm looking, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in the future, and I might run into somebody that might trigger this memory, and then my mind, it just goes to, what are you going to do when you see him? And before I could notice it, but after I did notice it, I stopped. But before I could notice it, like this ugly side came out of me, like the side that I used to be. I was mad, like I wasn't so much thinking about violence, but I was mad. Like I was telling, I'm going to tell them about themselves, you know what I mean? And I'm going to react. And then I caught myself. Oh, I was aware of it, and I was like, look at you, like look at your ego, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have no right to be mad at these people. Like, this has nothing, you know what I mean? What they did to you has nothing to do with you. Like, you need to stop carrying that with you. And then I kind of just started to laugh about it, like, you know what I mean? Like, get over yourself, like, you know. And I just wanted to know, like, is that the right way that you deal with it? Is there something else that I could be doing, or am I kind of like on the right path?
So here's let's start with the basics. In this moment, you have a choice: misery or joy. Which would you choose?
Joy.
So I tell you you're an asshole. You have a choice: misery or joy.
Joy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want.
Does it matter? So does it matter what I say to you?
No.
So when these other people who have emotional connections to you say, how many people do you think have cussed you off while you're driving down the road right now?
Oh, Sean, and that's another thing, road rage. Probably a few. I'm handling that well though.
Yeah, but so they do that. And listen, here's the thing. You ready for this? You ready for the next level? Everything that would enrage you now gets to stop with you. When you get enraged, when you get fired up, that changes the people around you. That puts vibration out into the world that you wouldn't want coming to you.
No, not at all.
All of this stuff now gets to stop with you. You are this resource that anything of rage, anything of aggravation, anything of somebody who's lost their way, anybody who's not operating at a level that maybe they used to, or they're operating at a new level that nobody wants them to. It all gets to stop with you. When the haters show up, Kim Pothier says this: haters are just confused fans. Isn't that a great one? Haters are just confused fans. So as you start to have people come into your life, and as you start to have people show up in your life, and as you start to have people who say, you're an idiot, you're not doing right, how come you're not this, how come you changed, how come you did this, you get to take that in and say, this gets to stop with me. Somebody cuts you off, flips you off, you go, oh, bless their heart. It stops there. And their energy was there to test you. Their energy was there to say, hey, listen, here's the lesson. Because if we keep repeating the same thing over and 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 over, there's a common theme there. Somebody's not learning the lesson, and it ain't them. It's us. You have this amazing capability, this amazing capacity of life. Would you say that there is a lot still left inside of you? Have you reached your peak of possibility yet?
No, I'm not even close.
So why do you think all of these people are testing you to keep you stuck so you can get closer to close? All they are is stopping you because you think you need to grow at an incremental level. You think you've been taught that you can't go from point A to point D. I got to go A, I got to bust through B, I got to cry through C to get to D, my deliverance. That ain't happening. You can go right now to deliverance. You can go right now to joy. You can go right now to absolute bliss. Do me a favor. You know how to smile?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell your face.
You're right.
It's not about me being right. It ain't about me being right. It's about the truth. God said he made the world, he looked at it, and it is good. That includes you.
It is.
And if you're challenging people, here's the thing. If you're challenging people, if you're pushing people's buttons, that's your job. Love it. Why do you think you got to be like everybody else? You ain't like nobody else. Who you trying to be? Who you trying to be? You're a whole beast. Who you trying to be? You ain't a half beast. You're a whole beast.
That's right. That's right.
Now, tell me what's happening in your spirit. Your spirit just changed. We could all see that. Y'all see the spirit change?
Yeah.
You got talked.
It's true. I was just so like, I was analyzing, like as you were speaking, like you were just speaking right to my soul, you know what I mean? And like, you're right, but it's, yeah, I got like such a serious face all the time, but what you say really does make me happy because it resonates with me. Like I've been doing so good, and like, and I know that I'm gonna be tested, but you know, like you said, it stops. Like it stops with me. Like I'm no longer, like, that energy doesn't come from me anymore. It doesn't live inside me anymore. Like that's like my old paradigm trying to kick in, and you know what? To my credit, it happens less and less and less. Like I used to have those thoughts all the time. I used to be triggered by memories all the time. Now I'm not, you know? So you're right.
So here's the thing. Listen carefully. You will still be triggered by memories. You just have to know how to use the bullet. You've been triggered and firing shit everywhere, left and right. You haven't been able to aim it. Ooh, why is that memory showing up? Ooh, I love that memory. Not right now. You can put the gun back in the holster. You can put the pin back in the grenade. The reason that listen, folks, this happens to everybody everywhere because the brain, your brain and my brain, do the same thing. It keeps us safe. And sometimes the way it keeps us safe is to piss us the hell off. And we get aggravated and frustrated, and you miss out on a day, you miss out on 2 days, you miss out on a week, and the brain goes, ha ha, I win. And the heart's sitting there going, I can fix all this. I can fix all of this. There's nothing to be fixed. If we just woke up in this moment, if the heart says, if you just listen to me for just that moment, I'm that little voice in the back of your head. Greatness. You were given a gift of life. It says in the Bible, I lay before you life and death. Why does it have to say choose life? Because of situations just like this. When you let somebody take away your joy, when you let somebody pull you out of your happiness, you are no longer living your life, you're living theirs, and that's why it sucks. You don't have to run around an asshole on parade. You can be happy. You can be happy. Just being happy pisses them off enough. You want to have revenge? Enjoy life. Be the person you were meant to be. Be the one you know to be. Listen to your heart. Your heart. Listen, the heart is the ultimate servant, the ultimate master. But the brain gets scared, and the brain throws up 1,001 stories of crap and says, you're not good enough. You're not tall enough. You're not straight, you're not gay, you're not trans, you're not this, you're not that, you're not white, you're not black, you're not, and everything you're not, it tells you, it reminds you, you are not. When's the last time your fear reminded you, look how great you are, oh my God, you should be scared shitless because you're gonna go out into the world and people are gonna love you. When's your brain ever said that? When has your brain ever said that? Your heart says it every beat. Your heart says it every beat. Every beat your heart is right now telling you, you are amazing. The world loves you. We love you. I love you.
I love you too, Sean. I really do. I can't thank you enough. You have no idea what you've done for me. I love talking to you. Like, I really do. Most times I'm in the gym, but today I'm running late, and, you know, I was able to talk.
Now, stop. You're not running late. How can you run late? It's still 7:09. 7:09 ain't late. Don't talk yourself into failure. I'm running late. No, I'm not. I got more time.
I still have enough time to get everything done.
Yes, you're plenty. You're not running late. You hear the words we use. Every single word has vibration, and we put ourselves. All of a sudden, they're gonna get to the gym, and they're gonna get to the gym. Oh, shit, I'm late. No, you're not. You're perfectly timed. You're perfectly on time. There is no late. That's man's idea of you being less than. What if you're early? What if you show up at the gym and you save somebody's life, and you would have missed out on that had you showed up some other time you were supposed to be? Rhonda Bird Parker, who's on here. Everybody throw some hearts out to Rhonda Bird Parker. The pink robe lady's in the house. She's in the house. What if she showed up? She went out. She left her house. We talked about this on the way back. She left her house, went a different way, went a way she doesn't normally go. Car flings up and flies off a curb, and the guy is almost paralyzed because he can't move, but his face is in an inch of water. If you are face down in an inch of water, what would happen to your body? You would drown. She goes an oddball way, finds somebody at this curve, and she sees this thing out of the corner of her eye. Her brain was going, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. And her heart says, you gotta look, you gotta look, don't miss it. And for like 35 minutes, she sits there squatting down, holding his face out of the water, and saves his life. Y'all, you guys are saving my life every day. I know you think, oh my God, he pours into us. You pour into me. You let me give my passion. Do you know how, listen, I ask you to send out 3 messages each morning. How long does it take you to send out 3 messages each morning? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Do you know how long I get to send out messages to you? An hour, 2 hours? I get to be on this call with you. How do you think my soul feels when I get to share with you? Why do you think I do these calls? This ain't to show you how much shit I've learned. It's to be how much joy can I give? How much space can I make in my life and for my family's life? Each of you do that for me, to me, through me. What are y'all waiting for? Does that help, Fuego?
It does. It does. It does. It just helps me realize I've come a long way, but there's still a lot of work to do, and that excites me.
Absolutely. And be careful of this. The lot of work you have to do, listen carefully, doesn't have to be hard work.
Exactly. That's why it's exciting, because I enjoy it. And every day, like you said, every day I wake up a little bit more excited, so I know I'm doing something right.
You are. And so say that again. Say I'm doing something
every
right.
day. Yeah, I'm doing something right. I'm doing a lot of things right.
And how does that make you feel?
I feel great. I really do feel amazing.
So the next time you decide, listen, the next time you decide to lose that smile, that sexy smile, the next time you decide to give that away, you got to add, somebody better have paid for that. Somebody better paid for that. And they better pay big for that. Because if they ain't giving you the cash, send them on their way. Love you tons.
Love you, Sean. Love you, fam. Have a great day.
All right, let's go to Amani on line 82. Amani, you're on with Sean. I don't know why I said that.
Hey, Sean, how are you feeling this morning?
Outstanding, my love.
That's good. That's good. I didn't really have a question, but I just wanted to shout out my friend Angel for getting on this call this morning. I'm so excited for her. This is her first time on the call. She was going through a little
Angel 516. Let's throw up some hearts for Angel in the house.
Hey, everybody.
Yay. Oh my God. I'm so happy that she got on this call. She was going through a little issues. But I feel like being on this call, she's definitely going to get the answers that she was looking for.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Amani. Angel, thank you. Amani, thank you for having the courage to share this call with her and to share it out and to be vulnerable. Oh, what? There's nothing. This is a great call. It's still vulnerable, asking people to do things. It doesn't matter what it is. Join you in business, jump on a call, be my friend. You realize how vulnerable it is? Listen, here's prospecting conversation. You realize how vulnerable it is for a 54, and I say this because this is demographic. We're all the same psychographic. I get that. We're all 18 and we're all having a blast. But for me to sit here with all of you amazing souls, 97 souls who are on this call, 90 of you, 95 of you aren't in my business, but we're in the business of building people. You realize the fear that I have in my world of how do I serve you? How do I even know what the hell is going on in your life? So I have to always come back to my heart, because my brain would talk me the hell out of this like in a heartbeat. It would talk me out of this in a heartbeat. But because your heart beats and my heart beats, we could do this together. So Angel, thanks for jumping on the call. Love you tons. Appreciate you, girl. Thanks for being a strong soul. So let's go to Monique Peters on line 38. Monique, you're on live with Sean.
Hey guys, hope everyone's having a good morning.
I just wanted to say something to the new people that have joined, and I hope you guys are still on here. I saw some people did drop off, but you guys are going to hear a lot of the word story in this call. You're going to hear that word quite often. And I want to encourage you all, if you walk away with anything today, your homework is to figure out your story, because none of this is going to make sense to you until you figure that out. And what that means is you need to figure out who you are, what makes you, because no matter what your business, if it's MLM, if it's, in a corporate job, if it's, cleaning toilets, whatever it is, you have to find a way to connect with people, even if it's just making friends. Okay. You have to know who you are to be able to have genuine connections with people. So when you get off this call today, ask yourself, if you can't figure it out today, what your story is, ask yourself every day, write it in your journal. What's my story? What's my story? It'll come to you. Everybody has one. It's super important. And until you figure it out, you're not going to be able to be successful in anything you do, because it's not going to be a genuine connection. And when you start to have genuine connections with people like we all have on this call, it's going to be an amazing feeling. And that's where you're going to have your breakthrough. So that's all I had to say.
Monique, thank you. And that's so critical. This is why I count on everybody to be on the call, because I get excited in a particular facet of life, a particular array. And I have people like Monique who absolutely add to that. So here's the thing. Your story, listen, your story is not your title. It's not your title at work. It's not your title at home. Your story is, what are you without the title? And some people will say, well, I'm nothing without the title. And that's a false statement. I don't have a job. Who are you in this soul? What is beating you right now? There is an energy, there's a source that is beating you right now, that is beating your heart, allowing you to love, allowing you to feel sad, allowing you to do all of those things. That's part of your story. Your story could be, I was raised in a very poor house. I was raised in a very rich house. But when you start to understand your story will start to give you your worth as well. Right? And maybe some of our self-worth is a little bit down right now. I promise you, you hang around folks on these calls, you get around folks like this, you ask your friends, what do you like about me? What do you think makes me unique? You start to get a pretty good idea of what your story is. I appreciate you, Monique. Love you tons. Appreciate you so much. Let's see, Brianna. Let's go to Brianna on line 17. Hi, Brianna.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, my love.
So I actually had a question in regards to a friend of mine. I have a friend who is going through a rough time right now, and is everything around, like environmentally, has been kind of negative in terms of like the family atmosphere and his living situation and things like that. And I've been kind of talking to this individual for a while now, just to kind of pull that desire out of him to, pull that positivity in a way so that he can look at the brighter side. Because I also think of my situation where I was in last year. I was in a very depressed state, and I realized in my walk in personal development that we do have a power in our mind to create the world around us. And with talking to this individual, they're very focused on the environment and how, and in a sense, they kind of want the environment to change their situation and the way that they're feeling. And so my question to you is, how, knowing what I know, knowing that we do have a great power in our own minds to create and change and make a decision, like you say, of joy or misery, how do I come across to this individual and kind of motivate them to pick joy and like realize that they have the power within them to recreate a different world for the better?
So here's the neat thing, Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
How much influence would you say you have with this person? Not over them, with them.
A lot.
Okay. And can you be in physical proximity of them, or is this over the phone?
No, this is over the phone.
Okay. So what state do they live
New York.
in? Okay. Are they able to get out of the environment they're in and have a conversation with you and them being in just a different environment, a coffee shop, I don't know, a library or something?
Yes.
Okay. What's something that's unique about that person that inspires you about this person?
His story.
Do they have a passion? Do they have something they love to do? A hobby? Is there something that they art? Is there? I keep seeing art pop up. I don't know why, but what's something that they love to do?
I know he loves like clothing and wants to come up with a line, as well as like going to investing in like real estate and things like that.
Okay. So I would ask you to have him in a kind of a quiet place.
Mm-hmm.
And have him describe to you, you're a blind person, and have him describe colors to you.
Okay.
And then have him describe fabrics to you as if you couldn't feel them. And here's why you want him to go deeper, because it'll be like, what? Tell me the color orange. Tell me what that would feel. Tell me what I would see if I couldn't see the orange. Tell me what it feels like in your body, in your soul. How does it feel? How does it move you? And the reason I'm asking you to do this is because he needs to get out of his environment. But no matter where he goes, his environment isn't left.
Right.
When you get him into describing something he's passionate about, to tell me what the color orange feels like in your soul. Tell me how it would inspire me. Tell me if I was an alien and I just landed,
mm-hmm.
describe this piece of cloth to me. Oh my gosh, it's like, do you know what it's like to feel warm? I know what it's like to feel warm. Do you know what it's like to feel hot? Yeah, I know what it is, but it's not hot like that. That's what we would call the color red. Have him try to explain colors to you. The reason that happens is because he hasn't had his fire lit.
Mm-hmm.
And give him a chance to get out of his own environment. He can do that in the house. He can do that wherever he's at. But his external environment needs to possibly be a little changed, because of 4 million bits of information each eye is bringing in, only 40 bits of information get to the conscious mind. His mind is on such high alert right now. It's on such amygdala nexting that the hippocampus is like, I screw it. Anything you do is, I screw it. I'm not even going to try to filter anything anymore. And the hippocampus is just quit. It is wore out. So get him to have conversations with you, deep conversations. And this is why you have to have some influence over them to be able to push him to go, no, tell me more. What does it sound like? Tell me what orange would sound like. Tell me what velvet would feel like on my body. What would it feel like on my cheek? What would it feel like on my stomach? And let him get back into something that he's passionate about. So what would the real estate look like? What would his office look like if he's going to do real estate? Find one of the things that he's focused on, that he's lost focus on, and tell him to describe it to you and down to the nano cellulars, right? Because he's lost his fire.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. Thank you for that. That's awesome.
I love it. Thank you. Hey, listen, I 30 plus years experience, thousands of folks. That's just one idea. Try it, see how it goes. But here's the thing. You know what's going to make the difference? You know what's going to make. Love you, Connie O'Neill. You know what's going to make the difference? You being inquiry, not trying to fix it. Not that you were trying to fix, but you now get to be the spark that helps him get his fire back.
Right. No, yeah, that's definitely true. I like the fact that you pointed out it's not a matter of fixing just inquiring about it and kind of leading them in a sense. And when you said that, I literally had a visualization of dropping breadcrumbs, as if, the person just picks up that breadcrumb on their own and finds their own path. So I love that. Love that.
So, and here's the thing, all of this rage, all of this anger, all of this frustration is the same fire. We're just going to redirect it. Right now it's burning him. He's choosing misery, not joy. It's the same fire. We can't put any more fire in him. He's got it, but we're now seeing it manifest itself with the house is no good and this is no good. Listen, if we really wanted to talk about it, and that's no good, that's no good, that's no good, there's only one common denominator in that conversation. It's him. Which sucks. Because then we're like, I'm the one making it bad. No, you're the one seeing it bad. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So get him out of his environment. Know that he's got an amazing friend. He should be, bless his lucky stars that he's got you. And you're just gonna, I would encourage you when you start things, use your DJ. And I would seriously change it and slow it down. And this is we're gonna have a conversation and listen.
Gotcha. Wow, that's powerful. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yay! I love my family. Laura 10K. Yeah, girl, in the house. How are you, my dear?
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Outstanding.
That's awesome. I love just listening to your voice and I love this space. I'm just so grateful for this. I kind of wanted to share something that happened over the weekend. And I was listening to the recording of Monday's call, and it just exploded my mind because I connected it with what happened on over the weekend. And Sean, I want you to know that in this situation, all I could hear was your voice in my mind. I was like, oh my God, it's him, he's here. But anyway, so we had some events over the weekend for, like opportunity events. And at this specific one on Sunday, there was one of the guests of the prospects was a pastor, from a big church around the area. And he loved the opportunity. He understood everything. And how do I explain this? He was in tune with the information, but he was hesitant. And so because he's a pastor and he has a lot of influence, I saw how so many of the people that I was with were just approaching him and kind of wanting to close him. And Sean, I kid you not, all I could feel was the energy. It was everyone was just rushing, no one was listening to the guy. And so I could just see it on his face. He was like, I just need you to listen to me. So all I could hear was you literally saying listen, don't talk. You just need to listen. You have to meet the other person and, see what season they're in. And again, I felt like everyone in the room was just rushing, and it was just crazy. And I could just feel me and him on the same, I guess, level. I don't know. So I was just very quiet, and I don't know how it happened, but I just sat down with him and I was just asking questions. I was like, what is it that you would like to accomplish with this? I was just asking him questions, and it got to a point where he was telling me his story. And I don't know if it was no one was listening to him. I don't know. But after the event, I was asking this person, I was like, did you know that, he went through this when he was young? And she was like, what? No, I didn't. And I was like, where were you? You were besides me. So it was just crazy how I got to connect with him on a deeper level, and it had nothing to do with the opportunity. So it just felt so real, Sean. I was like, wow. I think I've been, doing network marketing for about a year now, but I can promise you that I've never felt so in tune with a prospect until Sunday. And it was just crazy how I was just able to connect with him and just asking questions. I just felt like he saw the whole opportunity on like a whole different level. So I was just really, really grateful that I got to hear or listen to your voice, just like listen. But after all of that, I feel like my energy was just like drained after the whole event, because I was just trying to like, I don't know how to explain it, and maybe you can understand me, but I was just like very I was trying to calm, I guess, like everything down, because I felt how everyone was rushing and I wanted to calm him down as well. So after the event, I just like it was awesome, and I got to talk to him on a deeper level. But after the event, I was just like, I started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I can do this again. Like my heart just like, I was having like a panic attack basically. I don't know, like I was just so drained. I had no energy. It was crazy. So I don't know what happened to me Sunday. So I was like, let's tell Sean.
So first of all, congratulations. This is what it's supposed to be. And the reason you were drained is because you had to hold back an ocean of fear, an ocean of doubt, and you were doing your best to hold back the ocean of noise that would have normally been around. And you did it. You did it effortlessly. And then there was a part of you after you were listening. Listening is one of the most difficult things we could do. Listening in a crowd, listening in noise is one of the most difficult things we could do. Your brain is 3% of your body weight, but it uses 20% of your body's energy. So you just went to the gym. You literally went to the gym and you got wiped out. Listening to you. So here's the good news. You now have new neural patterns in your brain. You now have new neural systems in your body that's going to allow you to withstand the next listening moment. Listening is tough. How many of you would agree that listening is difficult? But listening to connect is a whole nother. You know what you had to give up to listen? You know the stories and the conversations you had to not say, that your brain was back there going, yeah, but say that. No, but say, oh, let me talk.
Yeah.
And you sat there with your heart. Here's the thing. You recovered instantly. You got exhausted, but in a day you were recovered. Your heart fixed all that. That was your heart working. And you know how hard you had to keep your brain? Because your heart, the second your brain wants to show up, the heart goes, as you wish. You let your heart beat. That's why you were not in pain at all. That's why that's why the drain happened afterwards. Because it was going to be like, well, yeah, don't do that again. Look how tired you get. Oh, I'm never going to listen again. I get tired of it. That's your brain coming up with some horse crap story. Congratulations. I hope you journal that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's just, I promise you, this, and you'll start to get downloads. You'll start to hear things. You know, it's just like I was listening to Brianna and I said, I hear art, I see color. Oh, well, he's a fashion designer. He loves to make clothes. He wants to come out with his own clothesline. Why did I see art? Because the story is always out there. Everybody's story is right in front of us. And you heard it in that noise in the room. You saw him getting beat up. You saw him getting run over. You saw people driving by in Lamborghinis and bikinis with the door open at 20 miles an hour saying, get in!
Yeah.
You walked up to him and sat on a park bench and you said, hey, tell me your story. No problem.
Yeah. It was crazy because I don't know, like I didn't think about him being, a person of so much influence. Like I wasn't thinking money, numbers, because of course him, signing up is going to mean a lot to my business. But Sean, I did not think of that. All I could think about was like, because he was telling me how he supports people that wants to get out of like gangs and, you know, drug dealers and all of this. And all I could think of was, how can I be of service to him? How can I help him use this resource to fulfill his purpose? I don't know how it happened. It just happens. I don't know. I don't know.
So here's the thing. The reason you don't know is because you don't have a past memory. You don't have a past memory of any of it. You don't have a pattern. You broke all of the pattern. You stepped into the flow, girl. You stepped into the flow and you became present. And there's not a single present that you've ever unwrapped other than this moment. And in this moment, you were in complete joy. You were in complete connection. This can happen every breath of the day. I so love it. Oh, I so love it. I'm so proud of you. And here's the thing. Now, here's the part where you get to go a little bit like this. It's going to feel weird patting yourself on the back. That was always inside of you. Always inside of you. Maybe some words I said triggered it, but you're the one that did the effort. I'm glad you heard my voice in your head, because it was you that was saying it. Wasn't me. You were just repeating my words to give you confidence, to give you, well, Sean says this. Well, I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now, but I'm going to do what Sean says, and I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
And it was total joy. And you're like, oh my God, this is working. Oh my God, this is working. I can't believe we're having this connection. How could we go this deep? Listen, I tell you all the time, I'm on a small talk diet. I want to know about your soul. I want to know about the story that embarrasses you, because it's a safe place to tell me about it. Because as soon as we get to that point, we can there's so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Sean. You have no idea how much you've changed. Because I've been listening to this call since probably like this whole month consistently. And it's just been.
Y'all realize it's only a month? Y'all realize it's only 1 month?
No. I feel like it's been forever, because it's changed. I just want you to know that this space is what I know my soul was longing for, and I found it, and I just get to. I feel like I'm finally finding who I truly am, and you are just, of course, a bridge for me to get there, because I know the answers are inside of me, but I just needed a little push. So you're that push. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to walk this path with you, my love. Thank you for bringing me along with you. Thank you for making my life better by telling that story. That's fuel for me, baby. You're awesome. I love you so much.
Thank you, Sean. I love you too. Okay, that's it.
You bet. Let's go to the West Coast. West Coast in the house. I can't do that. West Coast in the house. Babette, how are you, my love?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, because I'm like sitting in the sauna on the phone, and I'm like, I don't know what all these buttons mean. I'll just press a few and see if they work. So thank you, Sean, and thank you so much, Laura, for sharing. That seems to be coming up like a lot lately, listening as opposed to talking. And I'll tell you, Sean, you've been instrumental in a huge part of not just being a better listener for me for the last several months, but even going through, my daughter has had some health challenges for the last 6 months, and it's really interesting spending a lot of time in doctor's offices and labs and asking questions, but listening, being a better listener, listening to how she's feeling, what she's going through, but also to each of the doctors, and from listening, learning how to ask better questions. And I'll tell you, it's really interesting because so many people lately too have said, thank you so much for listening, hearing me, and learning, asking to learn more about me. And one of the huge takeaways for me in all of intentionally being a better listener, first of all, obviously, Sean, you in my life, having you in my life, as well as, a few other mentors and coaches to hold me accountable, because every single night I ask myself, how can I be a better person? how can I help more people? How can I be of service to more people? And it's huge. Like when you listen to people, people just want to be listened to and heard. And so shifting mindset to not ever like, what can I get, but what can I give in this situation, in this interaction, whether it's in the grocery store or on a phone call, or, and coming from a collaborative partnership point of view, as opposed to, and long-term building relationships as opposed to, you know, a one-shot deal, because that is not who I am. Although I'll tell you something, like just based on what Laura just shared, and Sean, so much that you've shared with me, thank you so much, and other people that have poured into me, I'm so, so grateful, because sometimes when I thought I was being a good listener, I was doing more talking than listening. And there's so much. It's like, okay, suit up, show up, take action, and you know, listen. And so anyway, just collaborative. It's very interesting, just in the last couple months, especially, just what has come from not showing up. And people know sincerely when you have this sort of frenetic energy of like, what can I get, or who can I enroll, or who can I get something from, versus what can I give to this friendship, relationship, and how can I truly be of service. And so it's just a shift, and physiologically, like I feel it, you know, it's actually pretty amazing. So part of this is being aware, and I just literally and figuratively was running from a lot of things the majority of my life. And so when I actually have taken the time to intentionally slow down and listen, and Sean, you've been such a great teacher on that too. You're like, even with the time thing, and I forget the person's name earlier, talking about like being late to the gym, and I'm like, no. I mean, just huge, so many things that I've learned from you, Sean, but no, and just message me, and you know, if it works, you know, it's supposed to work. It's just so many other things, but letting go of all those labels and those self-imposed limitations, and allowing myself to just be present and listen. So I love this. Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Sean.
Oh, you're the best, Babette. I love you. And the fact that I get to say your name, Babette. I love it.
Thanks.
You bet. Thank you, my love. I know she didn't have her hand raised, but I keep getting this feeling, and all I really want her to do is just say hello. Rhonda Bird Parker, are you able to say hello to the group?
I'm gonna sound a little different. So I sound like a little old man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still recovering over here, and I'm feeling better. I just sound worse, but that's okay. Now I wanted to tell each one of y'all, I miss y'all so much. I haven't been on the call the last couple of days because I've been more sick than this, but that's okay. Everything's good now, and it will get better. I'll do some energy work at about 10 o'clock this morning and move things around, and I'll get even healthier. But I've missed y'all listening to this call. Golly, the things that we go over, and no, I'm not going to turn my camera on right now. Y'all just imagine the pink robe and some really crazy hair. The things that we go over on these phone calls are so amazing. And thank y'all. Oh, look at all the love. Y'all are amazing. Laura, I totally hear you on this whole listening bit, because here lately, probably even with more in the last 2 weeks, this whole listening has popped up even more. And we were at an event this past week and weekend, and I realized even more how often people don't listen to each other, and how hard it can be to listen, and how, in lack of better words, draining it can be listen to some people, but how important it is. And I've worked through a lot of that, and sitting there and just being able to hear someone. I mean, literally, y'all, I sat with a lady I've never met in my life, and she plopped down beside me, which I know why she plopped down beside me, because God just drew her to me. She plopped down beside me, and she just started talking, and I just listened. I might have said 5 words, and I just listened. And I went through what you went through, Laura. I felt the emotions. I felt the, oh my goodness, all this crazy stuff. And before it was over, she just looked at me and she grabbed me and she hugged me and she said, "You're mine forever. You know that?" I said, I do. I do. And I really, honestly, y'all, didn't solve anything for her. I didn't give her any words of wisdom or pearls of wisdom. I didn't do anything. I just, everything she needed was inside her. I just listened to her and loved her and let her brain walk through all this in a safe environment, just me and her sitting in the middle of a casino lobby. And she walked through it on her own. And then when she was done, she thought I was the greatest person ever. I'm like, girl, I didn't do anything. I just listened. Because on the same token, I had a lot of people walk up to me and ask me a question, and they never heard me. And they never listened. And I looked at the contrast of the two. And for someone who's in personal development constantly, I'm in Shane, I can't even say your name right, Sean, my mouth's not working. I'm in Sean's head constantly. I'm in his ear constantly. I've got him in my ear constantly. And for someone who is doing that, and people asked me a question, they couldn't hear me, it hurt that they couldn't hear me because I wanted to honestly answer them, but I also needed to be heard. And I stepped back and I thought, I need to do such a better job at hearing more, because the feeling I just got from them not hearing me, I don't want anyone in my life to ever feel from me again. Ever. And I also say that you guys need to ask the questions to be able to hear them and develop the trust in that few seconds, whether it's eye to eye contact or turn your body to them or whatever it has to do to start that trust, because people need to be heard. They love to be heard. You will feel a sense of purpose. You will feel a sense of, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I need to call Sean and get out of the way. And you don't. You need to stay right there and you need to listen to him and you need to go through the emotions and you need to realize anybody that's on this call, you're doing everything you need to do to be able to show up in people's lives, to hear them, to listen to them, and to sow into them. And it's going to touch, and I'm going to use a different word, it's going to touch your spirit, not your soul. It's going to touch your spirit and it's going to go deep. And that's when your spirit's going to start getting rejuvenated and rehydrated and fed. And then it's going to control everything from there out. It'll control your soul. It'll control your flesh. And you will be a walking ministry to everybody that comes in contact with you. And I love, first of all, I learned that I have developed that better. And I have developed quieting my brain so I can make room for someone else's heart. And I love that I've put the effort in to do that, because I'm not just another nexter and I'm not just another passerby who wants to act like I'm concerned but doesn't really care. And I love that. And I love that these phone calls have gotten me through this. And, Sean G. Murphy, now, I love you to bits, man. I don't know how you got to be flying high to be released from me from the last 6 days. But, dude, I'm catching you. I'm right beside you somewhere, flying near you as soon as I get this man voice out of my voice. So thanks for letting me chat. I love y'all.
We love you too. Appreciate you, girl. Appreciate you, girl. You're a whole beast.
You a whole beast. I can say that now. I just can't say it real loud.
Thank you, my love. Taylor, Annette, go ahead. We've got you on line one.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
So
just stop for a second. Hold on just a second. Y'all just look at that face. Just look at that. Look at that face. Look at that hair. Look at that gorgeous face. That's just as amazing. Oh, it's gorgeous.
I was actually locking my hair. I had in twists for 3 weeks and I had to take them out. I couldn't do it. I needed my fro back. But anyways.
Okay, there's a line. Somebody's got to go do a meeting on that. I wanted my fro back.
I needed it. I couldn't think about the next 4 years without it or longer. So I took them out. It took so long. But anyways, I just want to say thank you, and I wanted to like share my gratitude like with everyone on this call, and that's been like asking questions, because like, you know, I had a realization today, and like I had a question, but it's been answered with every single person that's come on. Because like with me, since I started, like I have never liked phone calls. Like phone calls have just always been a struggle for me. And Sean, you were talking about how your heart is the ultimate server, it's the ultimate master, but your brain reminds you all these reasons like why that your heart is wrong. And so I just realized I need to listen to my heart, and I need to focus on giving more joy and giving more love to people, and not just to call them to like invite them to an event or something, but just call to give joy and to kind of brighten their day. And so that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to challenge myself just to like make like 5 calls today. And yeah, thank you everyone for the inspiration. I'm excited to just go out and seize the day. So thank you.
That's so awesome. And listen, so here's the thing, my love. With your level of excitement where it's at now, the universe gets frustrated. There's a well, let's just call it what it is. The evil that's out there, the enemy that's out there, doesn't want you to show up. It just doesn't want that energy to show up. So it'll do things. It'll do things like break a nail. It'll do things like tear a piece of clothing. It'll do things like spill a cup of coffee. I'm going to ask you, do you enjoy it? Go, listen, you can't stop me. I'm full of joy. You can't stop me. This is my moment. Because that smile, that energy, we need it. I need it. I so need it in this world. And I love you for bringing that to you. So here's one of the things. Sometimes people are like, well, what do I say? One of the things that, if you've hung around me at all for any time at all, if you've been around me and somebody new that's come into my life that's going to bring service to me, be it a server, be it a ticket agent, be it anybody, here's a phrase I always share. Hey, listen, has anybody thanked you today for being an amazing soul? Stop and they look. Well, no. Well, thank you for being amazing. I've had it happen a couple of times where somebody says, well, absolutely. Well, yeah, just recently somebody thanked me for being amazing. Awesome. I want to find that person and give them a big kiss on the lips. So when you're going out to make these 5 calls, you can start off with just that. Hey, listen, you ran across my mind, and I just wanted to call. Has anybody thanked you for being you today? You are so amazing. Thank you. You can start the calls there.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to see how it goes. I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'll tell you how it goes.
Love it.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Love you.
Love you too. Let's see. Last one. We've got to wrap it up. And Mr. Raymond Barbuto, he started us off. He's going to bring us home. This better be good.
All right. Hey, where's the love here? Huh? Where's the love? Hey, listen to all of you. It's been wonderful this morning, and this may help you. This is not from me. This is from a wonderful man by the name of Darren Hardy. But when you're talking about getting others to listen to you, okay, 3 ways that may help you. You want to provide the training in the environment where they have to apply it. For some of you, it may be the phone. For some of you, it may be in their place. But when you want to duplicate yourself, they have to be able to do what you're doing with them. Remember, you're teaching them. You're not trying to get them into your business. And when you're doing this, it shouldn't be on a one and done scenario. Example, it's like sweeping the floor. Once you've done it, what happens? The dust accumulates again. So you've got to keep doing this. And how many times have you Have you yourself re-listened to any audio or video which you thought was so special? Another thing, training needs to be delivered over a sequenced period of time. Remember, training is not the sequence of new knowledge. It's the sequence of learning new skills. And that's what Sean and everybody else is trying to do that comes on here. We're trying to learn new skills. It isn't necessarily the knowledge, it's learning these new skills. And skills are skills are built over a sequence of time. So you have your new information, you practice that information, you apply that information, and then you interact that information. And you do this over and over and over again. Consistency, like everybody has talked today. And the threat of overload is there every time you open your mouth. Trust me, from experience. I've had some people look at me after a couple of minutes and go, my God, please let this guy stop talking. For that matter, there was the longest time I thought I was a blessed individual, because every time I'd come near people, I could hear somebody go, oh God, here he comes again. But that's besides the point. So again, this new information should be followed by application and discussion before you move on to new information. And if you wonder sometimes why people don't listen to you after a period of time, it's called the law of familiarity. If you keep saying the same stuff and you're not giving them new information, they get bored, they get tired, because they're not learning. You're not teaching because you're not learning. If you want to be a leader, you are to become also a teacher. But you cannot become a teacher without learning. Sean does this every single day. He doesn't need to do this, but he does it because he wants to do it, because he's got this knowledge to share. It comes from his heart. Somebody had mentioned about the spirit. Rhonda, you mentioned spirit. This is where it's all coming from. It's great when people get together, but remember that once you are all together, it's like that fire I mentioned earlier at the beginning. We all get together. It's wonderful being at that fire and everything else. It's wonderful all of us being on this call right now. We feel so warm and everything else. But once this call is over, we're back out into the world again. We're going to get cold again. Why do you come back each day, most of you? Because you want that warmth again. Because you're doing the unpopular. Remember that. Be proud of the fact that you're doing the unpopular, because you are leading people. And remember, again, you want to inform, you want to review, you want to discuss, and you want to do it again and again and again. Success is 10% of learning knowledge and 90% of activity knowledge. Remember that. 10% learning knowledge, 90% activity knowledge. Simply learning by doing what you have been taught and by what you are teaching. I'm proud of each and every one of you. Keep those smiles on your faces. I love looking at so many of you on this call. It is great, it's wonderful. Taylor, the things you've said, Brianna, and all of you, Amoni, Trey, the whole slew of you that are on here that have mentioned things in different days. Some of you get activated. Some of you get inspired by what you hear. Do that. Inspire others. I love you guys. You are the best. You put smiles on my faces, and you want me to get this feeling that I want to live forever. I love you. Have a great day. And Sean, as always, thank you for allowing me to speak.
Love you, brother. I appreciate you. You're the bestest. Is my little peanut Angie still here? I see her hand raised.
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, my peanut, how are you?
Good, how are you?
All right.
But I just wanted to say something small. Like, I've been on here for a while, like when it was just like 30, 20 of us.
Yep.
With Rhonda and just a small group. So it's amazing. But like, I think with all of us being here and just really tapping into our greatest power that God has blessed us with, it's amazing to just, well, Ray said, to see everybody hear their stories and their aha moments and their trials, tribulations, everything that we all go through. And it's good to hear these stories, because for me, I'm learning so much from everybody based on their experiences and their aha moments and everything that they bring. So that brings so much knowledge to me. And I'm so grateful for that, because I never been in a group where I can hear so much and learn so much at the same time, because it gets me so hyped up, like Ray said, because me being a science major, I love learning. I need to ask questions and I need to learn. I need to be a sponge. And lately, I'm starting my last semester of college right now. I'm graduating this year, and then I'm about to start my medical process with med school and MCATs and all this stuff. So I went yesterday to my first day of classes, and I haven't seen everybody in a while. And a lot of people's like, you have this glow, like, what are you doing? And I feel like I got to a point in my life where I'm like, okay, you're getting to a point where you're good. You are happy. You are manifesting everything. You're receiving every abundance. And I just want to thank you, Sean, for that, because you brought that the first time you made me cry. When I was envisioning myself as a doctor. And that's when I knew I had the power. And that experience was so amazing, and just experiencing all that with you and just continuing to do that, it's amazing, because I'm so grateful and blessed, because being an orphan and not having a family, and then having a family that's not my blood right here, it warms my heart, and it really makes me so grateful that I can go to other individuals that I don't know and be like, I call them family. So thank you very much for everybody on here, and I really love you all, and thank you, Sean, and everybody else, and Ray, Rhonda, like, y'all are amazing, and I love you all. So thank you so much for this.
Yay! I love you, Peanut. Angie,
I love you too.
The world is so much better with you, and it gets even better when your spirit is matching that smile. So thank you for thanks for going through the trials. Thanks for going through the challenges and letting your heart have a little bit more space and time. So
yes.
And can you believe there's people who aren't on this call? I mean, not because of me, although I'm pretty freaking hot. But can you believe there's people who go, I need to know business. Life, this is the business of life. So it's about, I love it. Thank you, Angie. Love you tons, my girl.
Love you too. Thank you.
Well, there you go, folks. There's another day in the books. There's another great conversation. The puppies keep coming in here all the time. You see, that's Beamish right there, and he keeps showing up because he's very empathic. When you all start showing you and sharing your hearts, that's why he comes and just gently sits here and he puts his paw on me, because he knows he can feel I'm about to cry. And when he does, he comes over and he just hugs me. So y'all are just amazing. I appreciate y'all. Hey, listen, I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits, and I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Y'all say bye to each other. Send some love out there.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody, love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
I'm proud of all of you. God bless you all.
See you guys.
You too.
Love you.
One of those.
Love you, Peanut.
Fucking come in front of me, motherfucker.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Okay. That's the spirit.
It was a good stretch.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, man.
It was a very good stretch. Okay, it was one of those stretches